Hello, Qembek here. This video will be about money making method. That's kind of expansion of my previous explanations that I've put into episode about loyalty points. We are going to expand a topic of stat costumes. Stat costumes are obtainable by few different ways. You can buy it for prestige, you can buy it for loyalty, and in previous episode we figured out that they might be worth around 300 gold on Olo cluster, if I remember correctly. What's important here is that they have 4 different names. As you can see here, they are melee, ranged, healing and magic costumes. So you need to remember that those have 4 names when you are pricing those. They are the same in terms of mechanics, but if you want to make a decent price check, then you need to see different names of them, not just base your opinion on one. Many players have difficulties with figuring out how does it work and why they are priced like they are, and why one costume sells for thousands, one costume sells for hundreds, and one doesn't sell at all. Well, reasons are different. Most of the time it's about, is there an item attached to the costume, because costumes are like mannequins. You can put image items on them and then sell them not for your stat properties but for the image properties. If, as you can see here, we have an item on it, then price will increase. Sadly, I cannot expand on this topic here because I'm not an expert about costumes. I don't know which one is worth how much, because for me it's like black magic. I have no clue. But I have clue about statistics on the costumes, and I've sold few of them already, so for me it's not like first rodeo. Selling costumes is a difficult job. You need to aim for PvP end user. You need to assume that someone who buys this, he will want PvP stats on it, because PvE players, they usually stay with their bound costumes and they leave it at arcane, heroic, doesn't matter, because they don't need it as much as PvP players. So we need to polish our costume to make it fit for PvP player. As those costumes are regraded, they gain additional stats. So basic ones, they don't have any statistics on them, but look at this. Heroic one has 3 of them already. Meanwhile, the price range is still close to basic one, so someone underpriced it. That's why I'm going to buy it, and I'm going to polish it to make it good for PvP player. How I'm going to do that? To find out, you need to follow me to Marianopolis. See you in a moment. In my warehouse I have 7 login badges. They are rewards for daily logging in. Normally I would probably spend it on some cosmetic item, but in this case this is my labor slave, so I'm going to spend it on something valuable, something that can give me money. To replace our statistic on costumes, we need Serendipity Stone. I hope that I spelled it correctly. I can exchange 1 login badge for 1 stone, and I also can use loyalty tokens to get one, but that's expensive. 1 stone costs 300 loyalty badges. On a side note, check this out. You can get the speedboat design here for those badges as well. This is definitely something worth looking at if this is on your main account, but if you have labor slave like me and you want to make money, you want to make money with those stones. So let's get some. My costume has statistic that I want to replace. It has PvE ranged skills, which is useless in terms of PvP, move speed, which I can get from cloak or my shoes, and stealth detection, which I can get from helmet. It's not an universal stat, so I want to replace it as well. I've got received healing increase on my statistic, so I'm going to reroll as well and see what happens. And look at this, max health, focus and physical defense. It couldn't get better. It's really good. And since it's not visible in the video, I'm just going to remind you that those are tradable. So if I would run out of login badges, I can always use my secondary account and use login badges from there. I just transfer my costume and start re-rolling until I'm satisfied with the result. So if basic costumes are worth around 300-350, those materials needed to upgrade it to heroic version, they should be around 300 or more. So that's like 600 to 700, maybe 800 just to produce this kind of costume, and we still have room for those, you know, better and worse. This one is better, so it should be more expensive. If you look at those prices, people sold them for even 3000 gold. So it's a matter of finding a correct buyer, and if you are lucky or not, if it happens when you are listing or if it won't happen when you list it. What I do know is that in my condition, when this is my NA labor slave, I wouldn't be able to find a better usage for those login badges, and they are like zero value for me, but if used smart, you can multiply gold you invest into costume. So this method I recommend for players who have a bit more money. They can try to freeze the money for a moment and see what happens, gamble a bit with it. And of course they need to have access to login badges or high amounts of loyalty tokens. Also, my advice is to try 1 or 2 costumes only if you see like occasion that we saw on this video when it was like obvious that this is underpriced costume. Also remember not to equip the costume by accident if you intend to sell it. And that would be all from me for today. I hope you liked the video. If you did, of course, you can always comment, you can hit the like button or subscribe. Thank you very much and see you later.